we can both hit. And I just feel like if I land on Benavidez, the fight's done. But I just know if I land against any light heavyweight on the planet, I'm gonna win the fight.
Benavidez is used to walking guys down like it's a 9 to 5. But what happens when the dude in front of him can actually crack back? Why do people think that Yarde is food when he nearly stopped Kovalev and also gave Benavidez hell? Let's talk about the punch that nobody's talking about. Alright, so we got David Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde on November 22nd. And everybody online is doing that thing where they pretend that this is a mismatch. But then in the comments, they're like, well, Yarde does hit hard though. Well, you can't have it both ways, champ. Because look, if Benavidez is this unstoppable monster, why is he not going the distance now that he's at 175? And why are they putting him in with the guy whose only real win condition is early power? The fight is early danger, late punishment. Benavidez has the better engine, the better volume, the better championship rounds, but Yarde has the more violent first 4 rounds. If Benavidez does what he usually does, so walk straight forward, flat feet, hands busy but not always high, Yarde can really make him pay. But if Yarde doesn't make him pay by like round 4, he's gonna get cooked. The guy everyone says is the monster is actually the one who has to be careful early. Welcome to Abner's Counterpunch. Let's look to Riyadh. We have David Benavidez, 30-0, 24 knockouts, 28 years old. Now the WBC light heavyweight champion after Vival vacated earlier this year. First defense, big Saudi card, everybody watching. He beat Vostik, he beat David Morrell early in 2025. And both those fights went the distance, which is something people don't want to talk about. At 168, he was melting guys. At 175, the dudes are bigger. They're not just falling over. Anthony Yarde, 27-3, also 24 KOs, 34 years old, 3rd title shot, almost stopped Kovalev in Russia. He looked good against Benavidez before he faded. He's the dude fans call bronze level on a gold card, which is disrespectful, but I get what they mean. He's dangerous, but he's not proven over 12. If everyone knows Yarde fades, why would his team take a fight with the biggest gas tank at 175? Let's start with the champ. Benavidez' whole thing is simple. Walk you down, drawn you, combo you up like a mid-session. He's 6'2", fast hands, mean body shots, and he does that horror movie walk where he's just there even when you hit him. That's why people love him. But here's what changed at 175. Guys don't disappear. Vostik didn't disappear. Morrell didn't disappear. He even sat down Benavidez down once, even if it was balanced. So suddenly the I'll take 2 to give you 6 thing, it's still working, but it's not free anymore. A big question is, what happens when a guy that always gets to the second half faces a guy that almost never wins the second half? Benavidez loves posting up with the high guard, throwing 5 to 7 punch combos, finishing to the body. He's 30-0, never been beaten. Lost the WBC outside the ring twice due to cocaine testing and a missed weight, not by getting outboxed. At 175, 2-0, but both went to points. Suggests that power didn't jump up with him. His style's still the same, steps in, feet kinda square, he trusts his chin. Analysts like Tim Bradley have said he got touched more at 175. So if I'm Yarde, I'm like, wait, if this dude actually lets you hit him, I just gotta make those shots count? Benavidez' confidence is part of what makes him great, but it's also what gives punchers a target. Now let's talk about Anthony Yarde, and I'm gonna be fair here, okay? Is he the most deserving contender? Probably not. That's why fans are calling him a safe opponent on a Saudi showcase, but being less deserving and being non-dangerous are not the same thing. Yarde is super dangerous for a short amount of time anyway. Run the Kovalev fight. Yarde's in Russia, round 8. He's unloading everything he's got. His trainer's losing it in the corner yelling, he's done. And for a few seconds, it actually looks true. Kovalev stumbling, clinching, just trying to survive. Then jump to the better beef fight. Yarde tagging him clean, snapping the champ's head back, training in the pocket like he's got nothing to lose. He's right there, toe-to-toe, holding his own through 7 rounds. But here's the pattern, and it's brutal. 2019 against Kovalev, almost stops him, then empties the tank and gets finished by a jab in the 11th. 2023 against Benavidez, up on 2 scorecards after 7, then fades, stopped in the 8th. That's Yarde's whole story. Early explosiveness, mid-fight fatigue, and late punishment. Analysts literally call him over-muscled, say he carries too much size to go 12 at that pace. Looks like a tank, fights like a sprinter. Once the gas runs out, the armor doesn't matter. Bro, you can see it. In first 3 to 4 rounds, he's sharp, shoulders loose, shoulder roll counters, a fast right hand, a little snappy hook. You're like, okay, this dude can fight. Then round 6 is like somebody put a wet blanket on him. Arm gets heavier, defense slower. He starts admiring his own work. So the real puzzle is, can Yarde do 4 great rounds before Benavidez can make him do 6 hard rounds? Because that's what Benavidez does. He doesn't let you do 4 nice rounds. He makes you sprint for 4. Then he says, cool, now do 8 more. Let's make it real simple. Benavidez wins long fights. Yarde wins short fights. That's it. The guy with the bigger muscles doesn't win the push match. The guy with the better lungs does. That thick a bodybuilder frame against a longer, leaner pressure build. One looks like he lifts weights. The other looks like he lifts opponents off the canvas. Some quick facts. Yarde's got 24 knockouts and 27 wins. That's nearly a 90% KO rate, but most of those came against mid-level guys, not world champions. Both times he stepped up, he got stopped. Kovalev in 11, Benavidez in 8. And here's the contrast. Benavidez, the guy across from him, is now being talked about as someone who could be both Benavidez and Bivol once their trilogy wraps up. That tells you how high people rate his engine. They're not just calling him dangerous, they're calling him inevitable. So you know what this really is? It's, can Yarde do to Benavidez what he almost did to Kovalev? Because that's the last time he had a guy wobbling. And then he emptied the whole gas tank on 1 round. You try that with Benavidez, if he doesn't go, you're dead. Has Yarde actually fixed the cardio? Or are we just hoping that 2025 Yarde isn't 2019 Yarde in round 8? Now here's the part nobody likes to say on camera, but I will. People wanted Benavidez versus Benavidez. Instead, we get Benavidez versus Yarde on a big Riyadh card. And why? Because it's a showcase with Jeopardy. It's supposed to be a statement title defense, but with just enough danger so we can cut highlights if Yarde lands something. And Saudi loves names. We all know he's already been there with Benavidez, so he's known. He's not some random 17-0 U-spec guy nobody's heard of. Just scroll through the comment sections. You see it everywhere. Mismatch, bronze on a gold card, fans saying exactly what promoters hate to read. A lot of people are calling Yarde a hand-picked opponent, saying Benavidez still hasn't fought the true killers at 175. But context matters. Yarde is actually in a 4-fight win streak since that Benavidez loss. The competition hasn't been elite, sure, but it's enough to sell the storyline. And that's really what this is, a positioning fight. The winner lines himself up for the Bivol Benavidez trilogy survivor in 2026. It's not about proving who's number 1 tonight, it's about earning a seat at that table next year. So yeah, it's matchmaking, but it's smart matchmaking, because stylistically, you got a Mexican pressure machine versus a British powerlifter who can punch. That's TV. Sometimes not the best guy is actually the most entertaining guy, and that's what this is. Here's what the Benavidez blueprint should be. Touch the body early, make that massive Yarde frame start breathing heavy by round 2, keep the feet moving, don't square up on the line when Yarde sets that right hand trap. Once you hit rounds 5 and 6, that's when you double the work rate. History says Yarde fades in 7 and 8. That's why most analysts are predicting a late finish, somewhere between rounds 7 and 9. If Benavidez stays disciplined, this is the kind of fight that goes from competitive to controlled to cruel. If Benavidez respects him early, and that's the key, respects him early, this is straightforward. Don't get clipped clean in the first 2, don't let him set his feet, and your gas tank will win you the fight. Now, what about Yarde? And I'm gonna keep it honest with you. His path to victory is way thinner. Yarde has to make this chaotic early. He cannot sit back and try to shoulder roll 100 punches per round. That's not gonna work versus Benavidez. You can do that against the guy that throws in singles, but not against the guy that punches like a fire hose. His checklist should be stay off the ropes. Benavidez does his best work there. Make Benavidez pay for stepping in square. Trade 2 for 5, but your 2 have to be clean, heavy, and mean. Ideally, hurt him to the body. Everyone forgets Benavidez is big, but he's still making 175 for the first full year. If you do hurt him, you have to finish. Yarde's problem is he empties the tank and doesn't get the finish. Versus Benavidez, there might not be a second chance. Can Yarde actually fight at a pace he's never shown in his 3rd title shot at 34? The muscles look cool, the highlights look cool, but that's a maintenance cost. Your heart has to fuel all that. And Benavidez is a tax collector because, bro, he's gonna charge you every round. And the more jacked that you are, the more boring your game plan actually has to be because you can't waste energy. So here's the bigger picture. First, this fight is better than people are pretending it is. It's not the best opponent, but stylistically it's fun. Then Yarde is absolutely live in the first 4 rounds. If you're watching this fight, don't be shocked if you see him actually clip Benavidez or back him up in the ropes. That's Yarde's world. And finally, if Benavidez walks him down and stops in mid to late, that's exactly what he was supposed to do if he wants that Viva or better V fight next. This is a don't mess this up fight. Champions gotta have those. If Benavidez struggles here, goes life and death, gets wobbled, can't hurt Yarde, people are gonna start asking, is he really the guy at 175? Or was he really just a big at 168? And low key, this is also our marketing test. If Benavidez can make this look dominant, good luck selling him immediately into the Viva or better be winner. Anyway, don't write off Yarde like he's a heavy bag. He's not scared of Benavidez, but history says when the pace rises, he fades. By the way, do you think we'll ever see a Canelo versus Benavidez? After Crawford, I'm not so sure. Click here to see how I think Canelo could have done more against Crawford and subscribe while you're at it so you don't miss the next chaos we break down. See ya.